Emmitt Smith broke out with a sensational performance, leading Dallas into a first-place tie in the NFC East. This week, one more major setback, and the Cowboys must now put another obstacle behind them as the playoffs approach. Today, they travel west to Arizona against Boomer Esiason and the Cardinals, who look to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Sun Devil Stadium, the home of the Arizona Cardinals, as the Cowboys come to town to face the Cardinals. A December game when it's stretch run time and a must win for both these teams. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, as these two teams approach this, what do they have to do?
Well, I think, as you say, you play the whole season to get to this position where you can make it a 3-game season. And that's exactly what the Cowboys are doing now. But they have to take these 3 games to defend their championship. And the way they're playing on offense now, they're not going to make it. I think they have to get back. They have to get a balance. They would have to have a running game like they did against the Redskins, a passing game like they did against the Miami Dolphins. As far as the Arizona Cardinals, they've lost 12 straight to these Cowboys. And they aren't going to do it with their running game. Their defense is pretty good. But if they're going to have any kind of chance today, Boomer Esiason has to have a big day passing.
Earlier today, prior to the national anthem, the entire NFL observed a moment of silence to honor the late commissioner, Pete Rozelle. And we'd like to share that moment with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this past Friday, former NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle died at his home in California. All of us will long remember his creative leadership of the National Football League and his interest in and service to NFL fans. At this time, we ask you to pause for a moment of silence in his memory.
Crowd on hand. There's your weather forecast, and today's weather forecast is for it to stay just like it is, sunny. Temperature 77 degrees, very little wind. Leland McElroy and LeSean Johnson back deep for Arizona to receive Chris Boniol's kickoff. Johnson is 32, McElroy is 30. No wind, so no help. Just the thin air for Chris Boniol's kickoff. Spiraling kick mishandled by LeSean Johnson. Picked up and down he goes. Fumble! On the opening kickoff, the Cowboys had a shot at it. The Cardinals say we've got it, and we'll just wait. Cardinals ball. Let's look at the offense for the Arizona Cardinals, led by the left-hander Boomer Esiason. Coming off a hot streak. In front of him, Brown, Dexter, the rookie, Devlin, the rookie, Redmond, and Wolf. LeSean Johnson and Larry centers the 2 setbacks. Moore and Sanders wide, and Pat Carter, the tight end, as they open up from their own 21. Boomer Esiason. Back to throw it on first down. Outside to Pat Carter. Pat Carter gets up to the 30. And let's look at the Dallas defense. Remade for this week. Tony Tolbert at left end. Chad Hennings and Tony Casillas, the tacklers. The tackles, I should say. Shante Carver. Darren Smith, Fred Strickland in the middle, and Randall Godfrey, the rookie. Alundis Price, George Teague, Darren Woodson, Kevin Smith. Deion Sanders did not start. 83 for a first. That's Johnson, and he doesn't get much.
Yeah, it's interesting that Deion Sanders didn't start, Pat. Deion Sanders injured himself in the pregame warm-up. He got a back spasm. We were watching him in the warm-up, and you can see here right here, he just went down, and then he kind of grabbed his back, and then he could hardly get off the field. And then they took him into the locker room, and they're still working on him now. And
he hasn't come out.
And he hasn't come out, so Alundis Bryce is starting in his place.
3rd and 1. Johnson got the one and 6 or 7 more. Darren Smith made the stop.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Yesterday we were talking to Boomer Esiason and to Vince Tobin, and they feel that their wide receivers have to play a big part in this game. They have to be able to throw the ball, and I was thinking, how are their receivers going to get open against Deion Sanders and Kevin Smith? Then Deion Sanders is injured in the pregame warm-up, and now Alundis Bryce is playing out there, and they can throw on Alundis Bryce.
Deion Sanders just was lined up in a defensive position, and all of a sudden he went down on all fours, and you saw him try to walk off. They put 2 receivers in that direction. Esiason gives to Larry Centers, who gets about 5. Those of you that watch the Bears destroy St. Louis 35-9, welcome to Sun Devil Stadium, the home of the Arizona Cardinals. 0-0. We've just started the first quarter. 2nd and 7 coming up.
And this Cowboy defense is going to be a heck of a lot different. One, you take out a Leon Lett, who was suspended this week for a year. You take Charles Haley out of there, who really hasn't played all year, has been their best pass rusher. Then one thing you say, well, they still got coverage. Then Deion Sanders is injured in the pregame warm-up, so they don't have him.
And Esiason goes to work in that direction, hits his tight end, Pat Carter. Another Cardinal first down, a good throw by Boomer. Alundis Bryce made the stop.
Yeah, it's interesting. Pat Carter's in his 9th year in this league, and he's always been a blocker. You know, and they never paid much attention to him. And Vince Tobin says, well, why don't we throw to him? Why can't he catch? And well, he can catch, but he's been known as a blocker. And so they said, well, let's start throwing to him. And Boomer Esiason said, that's not a bad idea. And this guy's having a career high in his 9th year.
1st and 10. Again, they go with 3 wideouts. Centers is the deep back. And Boomer to throw it. Pass is caught by Rob Moore.
Yeah, I wonder if the Cardinals know, or if Boomer Esiason knows on this first drive that Deion Sanders isn't out there, because their game plan was to work this side over here and to work against Kevin Smith. And that's what they're doing. You see, they're throwing out to this side right here against Kevin Smith. They were going to stay away from Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders is usually on their offensive left, and Kevin Smith would be on their offensive right. So I wonder if they just ought to take a look out here and see what they got out there. Whoops.
LaShawn Johnson, the ball carrier, doesn't quite get the first down, slipped on the turf just as he approached the line of scrimmage. You know, you look at the Dallas defense, John, and think that not too long ago they were playing in the Super Bowl right here in the same stadium, and of that defensive front 4, only 1 player is left, Tony Tolbert.
And then they had some pretty good players that aren't. I mean, Charles Haley was one of the best pass rushers that I think that ever played. Russell Maryland, Leon Lett. And there's Ray Childress, who they just signed after Leon Lett was suspended. Ray Childress, of course, who had all those great years with the Houston Oilers.
4 wide receivers this time. Over out of the shotgun. That's caught by Centers, but not enough for the first down. George Teague up to take him down. Now, why? Why?
I don't know. I mean, I think Boomer Esiason and this offense, Jim Fossil, the coordinator, really let Alundis Bryce off the hook. And I think they're going to go for it here on 4th down. I mean, maybe they see because he's playing off and they can hit their left side or the right defensive side of the Cowboys. And, you know, again, you game plan and you script and you have all those things. And you script with one thing in mind. You script that, you know, you're going to stay away from Deion Sanders. But then he's not out there. And I think in his first drive, they're staying away from his position.
They go on a quick count. They get the first down to Frank Sanders, who came out of the slot. And now somebody looked up from the script and got the message.
Well, that's the thing that Boomer Esiason does so well, is go on that quick count, and get rid of the ball quickly. Here's Sanders here. He's in the slot, and you just see him just run a short out. Boomer Esiason just comes up, boom, he gets that ball out of there before Darren Woodson can get close to him.
Welcome to those of you who watched Atlanta beat New Orleans to Sun Devil Stadium, the home of the Cardinals. And the Cardinals took the opening kickoff, and they still have the ball. They lost it again. The fumble by LaShawn Johnson. They lost yardage. He recovered his own fumble. And the Cowboys get a break.
Now you're going to
pitch.
Yeah, you see the handoff here. It looked like he had to reach a little too much, and it just popped right out of LaShawn Johnson's hand.
Hit him up about the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Boomer got it back there. He got it a little high. Boomer Esiason is one of the great faking quarterbacks in football.
Pass flag is thrown. It was intended for Frank Sanders.
And working on Kevin Smith. I swear, Pat, they don't know Deion Sanders isn't there.
You don't think they realize it yet?
No, I really don't. They haven't gone to that side, and that's the side you should go to. They came in with a game plan. They wanted to work Sanders in the slot. They wanted to work centers, and they wanted to work their outside receivers on Kevin Smith, and that's what they're doing. And here's Kevin Smith right here, and again, you're going to see the penalty here when the ball's in the air. You see that hit? First of all, you can't hit after 5 yards, and you can't touch a receiver before the ball gets there when the ball's in the air.
He didn't protest too loudly.
Yeah, he's been having a problem with that. And the Cardinals complained about it. Vince Tobin said last time we played there in Dallas, their two corners held us on every play.
18-yard penalty. Here's Boomer looking in the direction. Pass is almost intercepted by George Teague. That's one he should have picked off.
Yep, he finally looked out there that time. He had Rob Moore out there, and I think he was going to throw to Rob Moore, but Rob Moore falls down. Watch, here's Rob Moore. Look at Alundis Bryce, how far off he is. Rob Moore is going to run a pattern here. Now watch when he starts in, and then he starts back right there. He falls down. And had Boomer been able to get the ball to him, he can do that.
That one should have been intercepted.
Yeah, it hit George Teague right between the 3 and the O.
2nd and 10. 3 wide receivers. Sanders. Not much. But with his second lunge, he got down to about the 15. Harper came up to make the stop.
You know, it's funny, you talk to NFL players and coaches, and I think there's as much respect for Larry Centers as any back in this league. You know, I know Terry Allen for the Redskins has a lot of respect.
Right.
Of course, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and those guys do. But I think that this is kind of a gem that's maybe lost here in Arizona is Larry Centers. And anyone that ever plays against him always talks about how tough Larry Centers is. I'm not just as a pass receiver, but he is a devastating blocker.
This is the 13th play of this drive. 3rd and 5. Esiason out of the spread. Batted down. The pass batted away by Chad Hennings.
Yeah, you're going to see the Cowboys are just here in a 3-man line. So they're playing off 8. They're just rushing 3. Chad Hennings has 3 guys on him right there. He stands right in the middle. Boomer Esiason just threw that one too low. It wasn't a Chad Hennings even had it jump. Watch that. Watch where the ball comes out. You see it down there? He just throws that too low. I mean, he throws that like a side armor.
Longtime Chicago Bear Kevin Butler. Now the Cardinal kicker will try from 33 yards out. And Butler's kick is good, and the Cardinals keep the ball for 15 plays and get ahead 3-0. And is enjoying today's game with Cowboys and Cardinals. Snoopy will co-pilot the MetLife blimp above NFL football games throughout the year. He's got a pretty good seat today. Sellout crowd at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe. Kevin Williams and Herschel Walker back deep for Kevin Butler's short kickoff. And it's going to be Kevin Williams at about the 7. skips through one tackler, but doesn't make it quite back to the 20. Ryan Christopherson down to make the stop. There's Deion Sanders, who went down in the pregame warm-ups and has just come back to the field on the sideline. He still doesn't look like he could play. Back at Sun Devil Stadium, the Cardinals leading the Cowboys 3-0. Troy Aikman, of course, the quarterback for Dallas. In front of him, that big veteran offensive line, Q&A, Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Williams. Emmett Smith, Darrell Johnston, Kevin Williams, Michael Irvin, and Ty J. Armstrong starting at tight end instead of Derek Bjornson. Aikman to Smith. Emmett Smith gets 9 yards on a broken play. Matt Darby brought him down. Let's look at that Cardinal defense. The front four, Rice, Wilson, Swan, and Bankston. The three linebackers and three good ones, Miller, Hill, and Seth Joyner. And in the secondary, Bradford, Alexander, Darby, who has a broken hand, and Aeneas Williams.
Aeneas Williams is going to line up every play on Michael Irvin.
2nd and 1. Aikman to Smith. First down, Cowboys. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, Kerry Collins was 3 for 3 for 49 yards. Here he finds Wesley Walls. Walls, you recall, had 2 touchdown catches in the first meeting this year. He's got one now. Panthers on top by a touch. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
The Cardinals on top. The Cowboys with the ball. They just picked up a first down. Emmett Smith deep. Smith met at the line of scrimmage. Short yard. Stopped by Seth Joyner.
You know, that Larry Allen, I mean, he pulled and he ran into Jameer Miller. Watch Larry Allen pull here, and they don't make much in the play, but he hits Miller so hard here he knocks his helmet right off. I mean, he is so powerful. Just watch as he comes out here and boom. I mean, he just hits there and things just start to spin in his helmet. I mean, he goes down to both knees, gets spun and turned around, and his helmet gets knocked off.
Herschel Walker split wide to the right. Aikman on 2nd and long, back to throw it. Pump fake, Aikman is sacked.
There's the guy who is a real deal, Simeon Rice. A rookie, that's his 10th and a half sack. I mean, this guy is a pass rusher. Watch him here. I mean, he naturally has the moves of a pass rusher. He reminds me a lot of Richard Dent when Richard Dent was young. You see how he took 2-A up the field?
Yep.
And then the minute that he's watching Aikman all the way, when he sees Aikman step up, whack, he comes right underneath 2-A.
He has that great ability to change direction very quickly. 3rd and 11. Here's Aikman back to throw. Caught by Kelvin Martin. And he has made some big catches since coming back to the Cowboys.
And this is what the Cowboys have to do. They have to protect for Troy Aikman, and then he has to find those wide receivers. But look at this protection. This is a perfect pocket here. You see that he can just step up and throw either inside or outside. On the other end of this is just Kelvin Martin just having a good feeling. Feeling that, you know, when he's open and just stopping and turning around.
Darrell Johnston on the move, and Emmett Smith the carry. Emmett lunges for about a yard.
You know, an interesting thing, Kelvin Martin catching that first down play. And look at who Troy Aikman has gone to on 3rd downs this year. 13 times completed to Kelvin Martin, 10 to Deion Sanders, 8 to Kevin Williams, 8 to Eric Bjornson, and only 5 to Michael Irvin.
That's surprising.
I think it's not only surprising, I think that's one of the problems of the Cowboys offense.
2nd and 9. Aikman quickly intended for Darrell Johnston, incomplete. Bjornson has replaced Ty J. Armstrong.
And you think of you know that with that big offensive line of the Cowboys and with Emmitt Smith when he's healthy, and he's said he's feeling as well right now as he has all year, but that ankle isn't going to get better 100% until the off season. But they're going to be able to run the ball. But if they're going to be a championship team again, they have to do better in the pass area. In this area right here, third down passing.
Third and long. Aikman. Intended for Kevin Williams, incomplete, and the Cowboys will have to punt. Deion Sanders over on the sideline sitting on his helmet. The Cardinals leading 3-0.
One of the problems with the Cowboy pass offense is the wide receivers just aren't getting open. They aren't getting any separation. Kevin Williams on that play wasn't open. Michael Irvin hasn't been getting open.
Anthony Edwards back deep for John Jett's punt. Jets punts a dandy. Edwards retreats. Lets it go through the end zone. The Cardinals will start at their own 20 with 3:07 left to play in the first quarter. Arizona leading Dallas 3-0.
Deion Sanders was just in a stance and he went down and he had trouble getting up. The trainer comes over, takes him in the locker room, and here he is just a little while ago coming out of the locker room. And I don't see there's any way that Deion Sanders is going to be playing. He look right here, he got one of those stem things on, that go right to his back that give, the stimulation to the muscle. He has a muscle spasm in the back. And the interesting thing is on the first drive of the Cardinals, I don't think they knew Alundis Bryce was in there. I really don't.
They know by now. Here's Esiason. This pass is caught by Rob Moore. Incomplete. Sorry.
You're talking about being in a zone or being hot or whatever the word now for guys that play well is. How about Boomer Esiason against the Washington Redskins? Threw for 522 yards and the third highest in a game of all time in the NFL. We saw film of that game, and it looks like anything he just put up there went in.
Well, you could see him gaining confidence in his receivers. Here he is. And the handoff is to Liam McElroy. McElroy up to the 25, picked up about 5.
We're talking to Vince Tobin yesterday, and the last time we did this game, he's always talking about McElroy. He's a rookie that he always wants to get in there. And sometimes that happens to you as a coach, and you want this guy to get in there, you want him to play, you want to see him, but the way the game goes, you just don't get it. LaShawn Johnson starts. Then when they go to one back, that one back is Larry Centers. And then you're going to pass sometimes, and you got your nickel offense in there and so on, and you just don't have a lot of plays for the guy to be in there, like this one.
Boomer goes out of the spread. 4 wide receiver setup.
Oh, he got him.
Yep. Pass is incomplete as he was chased by Shante Carver, but Shante is a man who jumped too early.
Yeah, and Boomer was trying to do that too. Yeah, we talk about him being a master of the play fake. He's also a master of drawing people off sides with his cadence, and he did it. Just watch and listen to this. This is what he's doing.
Spread.
You see him move his shoulders and everything?
Yep.
And the guy that he got was their right end, Shante Carver.
And the penalty, if they mark it off, or when they mark it off, Walt Coleman is the referee.
That's a first down.
And that will be a first down for the Arizona Cardinals. They have playoff aspirations, as of course do the Cowboys.
Well, like Vince Tobin says, he's not thinking about playoffs and and how you get in and if they're alive and a chance. He said it boils down to one thing. He said we have to beat the Cowboys. He said if we beat the Cowboys today, then we can think about those things. If we don't, who cares?
Here's Boomer back to throw. Incomplete. Too high. No flags intended for Frank Sanders.
I still don't think they've thrown a pass out there on Alundis Bryce. And maybe they know it, and they probably do know it, but sometimes you get locked into your game plan.
Yep.
And you practice a game plan all week, and that's not part of your plan, and it's hard to go to. I don't think they can make that adjustment. You see Deion Sanders is there trying. He's seeing if that stem is working and that other stuff. I think he gets up like every minute or so, but it's still not working.
He doesn't get all the way up.
Now.
Here's Boomer. Pass incomplete to Frank Sanders, hit hard by Darren Woodson.
Yeah, Charlie Williams came flying across there, number 42. This is a pretty good throw. I mean, the ball is right there. Darren Woodson is on top of him, and Charlie Williams comes underneath. There's Charlie Williams right there. He gives him that little bump that knocks the ball out of there, but looked like Frank Sanders should have been able to hold on to that. I mean, once you go inside, you know you're going to get hit anyway, so you might as well just hold on to the thing.
I don't think he saw Charlie Williams coming, or maybe he did see him coming.
And maybe it was just that little bump from Charlie Williams that knocked the ball out.
Cowboys go with a three-man rush, although they're threatening blitz. Now they back out of it. Boomer has time. Incomplete. That should have been caught also. Stevie Anderson.
Now that was terrible. I mean, if that happens in practice, you drive yourself crazy. I mean, this is where you say you have to catch a ball with your hands. You have to catch it out in front with your hands. What happened is he jumped up. He really didn't have to jump, and the ball hit him on the left knee. The ball hit his knee before it got to the hand. Sometimes if you catch it too close to your body, like your chest, it'll hit your chest. That one hit his knee.
Jeff Feagles back to punt. And deep for Dallas is Kelvin Martin. Flag on the play. I think they took a little too much time. Walt Coleman, the referee.
Well, the umpire was up there holding the ball before that.
Prior to the snap, offense number 56, 5-yard penalty, still fourth down.
It couldn't have really been too much time because the umpire was holding before.
I think it might be some problem with the clock.
Well, he wants to put the time back on.
Yeah. Well, this weather, absolutely perfect.
If you're not a fat guy, I mean, it's not good weather for big guys. Linemen do not like this weather. It's too hot.
Golfers do.
You see, here's the umpire right there holding up the ball. See, now he got out. That's what he did the last time too.
Eagles back to punt. Very nearly blocked. Kelvin Martin signals fair catch, and the Cowboys will take over at their own 23-yard line, with the Cardinals leading in the first quarter 3-0. Deion Sanders still can't stand up straight.
Well, but you see who he's going over to, Pat. He was making his way over to Alundis Bryce, and Deion Sanders has seen everything and done everything as a defensive back in this league, and Alundis Bryce has to play for him, and I think at some point the Cardinals are going to start working on him. I think Deion is just offering advice and saying what they're doing and what they're trying to set him up for.
1st and 10, Dallas. Aikman will throw it. Kevin Williams makes a catch. Stopped by Ronnie Bradford. It is hot down on the field.
I know, you can tell that. I mean, when you see a guy like Jim Schwantz, who's become the best special teams guy at the Cowboys, when he's down there with that ice in the neck and trying to get cooled off, it's hot down there because he's not a great big guy. The great big guys will be dying in this weather.
Second out of it short, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt breaks into the Cardinals secondary. Gets to the 40. 80, 90 degrees. Close to it. Down on the field.
Yeah, and then you put all that gear on, and that adds another 15 degrees or so. So under those shoulder pads and that stuff, it's probably 100 degrees.
Hervin McCormick taking advantage of that big fan.
Yeah, but how about those big offensive linemen?
Yeah.
How about Eric Williams and Larry Allen and Nate Newton and Mark Tuinei and Ray Donaldson and those guys?
Here's Emmitt Smith again. Behind Newton and Tuinei and Darryl Johnston for about 3.
Remember when Emmitt Smith was running out of bounds? We did a game against the 49ers, and I said that Emmitt Smith in that game ran out of bounds more than I've ever seen him do in his whole career. He said what it was, his ankle was bothering him so much that he couldn't stop and plant. so he could only go in one direction. And when he would start towards the sideline, he said he couldn't plant or stop on that foot, so he just had to run right out of bounds.
2nd and 7. Johnston goes in motion. And Aikman goes back to throw. Gets it outside. To Ty J. Armstrong. Ty J. gets up to midfield.
Well, you weigh 280 pounds and you're a tight end. You don't go down.